I am Maria Beger, an associate professor in conservation science at the University of Leeds and the principal investigator of the Climate Reef projects. We work in Indonesia and the Philippines, and the local principal investigators are Professor Gino Lemon at Pattimura University and Rocky Sanchez Torona at REA. Titled Integrating Risks, Evolution and Socio-Economics for Fisheries Sustainability on Coral Reefs in a Changing Climate, the project is funded by the CLARE program, or Climate Adaptation and Resilience, through funds from the Canadian International Development Research Centre and the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Coral reefs underpin the livelihoods and well-being of almost 1 billion people and are particularly important for protein provisioning in many countries. Coral reefs are also sentinel ecosystems for climate change-driven declines that threaten biodiversity, but also livelihoods. Adaptation is pivotal in the survival of both reefs and the people who depend on them. But adaptation is difficult to measure, as we need whole genome sequencing to determine a coral's genetic diversity and thus adaptive capacity. To integrate the concept of adaptive reefs into conservation planning and fisheries management, we need to upscale from individual corals to whole reefs. We will use globally available reef maps in 5-meter resolution called the Allen Coral Atlas to find highly morphologically complex and diverse reefs that we postulate to be adaptive reefs. We will measure adaptive potential of corals with genomics and overall biodiversity with environmental DNA in a range of sites to test our theory. We will further determine how fishing communities use those adaptive reefs, how they are exposed to climate risk, and how this differs between the different genders. The point of all this research is to co-develop adaptation pathways for communities and to use the adaptive reef concepts and maps in climate-smart and sustainable reef management.
In our work in small-scale fisheries, we've seen how the impacts of climate change can affect men and women differently. For instance, because women are more likely to be gleaners, shifts in the types of species caught near shore can make a difference in their livelihoods. We also know that the availability of fish and shellfish overall in a community can really affect the health of mothers and small children. In this project, we hope to understand these gender differences better, as well as how men and women adapt to the impacts of climate change on their reefs and on their fisheries in different ways. We're going to be deploying our existing climate change vulnerability assessments, which we're going to modify to reflect this gender lens better. With this, we hope to generate insights that can improve adaptation actions that can be incorporated into management plans by the community.
Hi, my name is Gino Limon. In this climate risk project, we add ecological and genomic components to understand driver of adaptability, which are one of the key solutions in tackling climate risk. This is based on our understanding that keeping genetically diverse coral healthy in ecologically connected networks help resilient organisms to survive, evolve, and repopulate reefs. For ecological survey, we will use standard method to do marine rapid assessment of coral reef condition, which include visual census for fish, coral, invertebrate, and algae. For genomic, we will sample selected coral species and determine intraspecific genomic diversity in complex versus non-complex reefs with whole genomic sequencing for Cnidarian coral host and targeted metabarcoding for symbionts. Environmental DNA will also be used to determine the diversity for eukaryotes and prokaryotes. We are confident that by integrating ecological component and genomic component to other components like evolutionary responses, socio-economic resilience, and gender-specific need, we will be able to develop climate-smart adaptation solutions for fishing communities. Thank you.
I'm Helen Fox, Conservation Science Director of the Coral Reef Alliance. To increase the impact of our climate reefs research, we will collaborate with regional initiatives and local organizations that support managers and government agencies in Indonesia and the Philippines. Both countries have policy opportunities to incorporate gender and climate adaptation considerations into decision-making for fisheries management and the design and implementation of marine protected area networks. Scaling out still further, 188 countries have agreed to the Global Biodiversity Framework of the Convention on Biological Diversity, which aims to protect 30% of the planet's lands and waters by 2030. The management decisions surrounding this effort will have lasting consequences for people and nature.
Hi, I'm Ben Charo, and I work on the Coral Reef Alliance's Conservation Science team. If you'd like to learn more about climate reefs, you're welcome to check out our virtual poster, where you'll find more information, as well as a QR code linking to further resources, including a project description, our full theory of change, and more. This QR code will also appear at the end of this video as well. You're also welcome to find me at Adaptation Futures, which I'll be attending in person. If you'd like to set up a meeting with me to discuss our work, you can reach out directly at bcharo@coral.org or send an email to the Climate Reefs email account, which is climatereefs@gmail.com. We'd be excited to hear from you, and thanks for watching.